April 2007. Abdullahi is Somali, 9 years old and usually toting a comic book. He's the kind of kid kind enough to give bullies the benefits of his doubts. Always able to find it in his heart to live, let die, and forgive. You can usually find him on the other side of the basketball rim watching the other kids play until a fight breaks out. Not for cheap entertainment, but because the violence to him plays like a science of risk, and he's trying to figure it out. So when I arrived to work for after-school homework help this particular evening, Abdullahi, usually eager to learn or just happy to not be in school, looks deflated. A face vacant and devoid of joy, staring at the carpet. I do like any cheesy after-school special would, and I ask him, "What's the matter, buddy? What's going on? Are you okay? What's going on? Is this creeping you out?" He slowly turns his head. "Oh, you haven't heard about it, no? Captain America died. Somebody shot him." Pointing to his Death of Captain America comic book. "Well, who the hell shot him?" I ask. "I don't know. But when Tony Stark finds him, I hope he whoops his ass." And of all the socio-political parallels I could draw at this juncture, perhaps gun violence in America shooting down the human symbol of the United States, or maybe even Abdullahi, a first-generation East African immigrant, deifying a white guy with a crew cut out of a comic book and mourning his death like it were his own grandfather's. Yeah, we could totally go with that. That's interesting stuff. But on this particular evening, my brain wasn't working so well, so I went with the first thing that came to mind, and I told him, "Abdullahi, I'm really sorry to hear that's really rough stuff, man. Cap, he got shot while he was going to court for the whole Superhuman Registration Act thing. Really devastating there. They say Crossbones did it. I'm sorry, do you remember that one time Thanos wiped out half the living organisms within the universe with the Infinity Gauntlet? Doesn't ring a bell? Okay, how about the time when the Scarlet Witch went into a bipolar rage and annihilated over 1 million mutants within 5 minutes, forever altering reality? You think this is bad? You try waking up to a world where Lincoln never freed the slaves, over taxes, Hitler won, and the movie Starship Troopers does not exist. That is not a world I want to live in. You see, I don't think you're bear-hugging the big picture. Crying over some blue-eyed everyman juiced on super soldier serum is similar to lamenting Lance Armstrong falling off his bike. The guy caught in a radioactive factory meltdown and barely escaped with his life, and newfound superpowers is a self-ingratiating, simple tale. The woman born with ethereal rights to fly, shoot lasers from her eyes, make a cape look fashionable is simple and a simple tale. The man who lost everything but his livelihood turned to wearing a metal mask and declaring imperial dictative power over an entire country. That's kind of cool, but it's still a simple tale. Abdullahi, you tell me a story of a child born into a life-or-death war-torn circumstance amidst a third-world land whose parents' parents had to stand on the edge of a dime for him to even exist. And this child would someday, by the most improbable odds, find himself on a plane to an imperial nation where he would soon call his home, grow and prosper, to someday even the playing field just a little bit so his children's children don't have to stand so close to the edge to make a living. Captain America never died. Go on ahead. I'll be Bucky. You be Steve Rogers, and we can make this thing happen.